Hey YNR fans! Waving hand, welcome to YNR Trends, your go-to spot for the juiciest Young and the Restless updates, shocking spoilers, and all the drama you can't stop talking about. From surprise returns to scandalous twists, we break it all down for you, every day. So grab your coffee, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive right into Genoa City's hottest gossip. The morning in Genoa City begins quietly on the surface, but as with every day in this town, calm never lasts long, and Tuesday, September 16, 2025, promises to shatter more than a few illusions. The Newman Ranch is buzzing with unease because Victoria can sense her daughter Claire is on edge. Ever since the revelations about Jordan and the endless chaos surrounding Claire's true parentage, Victoria has been trying to help her daughter find her footing, but today is different. Claire has been keeping something hidden, something that weighs heavily on her heart, and Victoria notices it in the way Claire avoids her gaze at breakfast. The tension is unbearable, and Victoria, used to controlling situations in both business and family, feels powerless as a mother when she sees her daughter clutching her phone as if it holds the key to everything she's afraid to say out loud. Meanwhile, over at the Abbott mansion, Jack is still recovering from the fallout of his latest argument with Ashley. The family has been torn apart for years, but this round of disputes feels harsher than usual because it touches on legacies, betrayals, and whether or not the Abbotts can ever stand united again. Jack feels like his back is against the wall, forced to protect Chabot while trying to keep Diane by his side, but Ashley's harsh words echo in his mind, leaving him unsure of who he can trust anymore. Tracy tries to bring peace, but she's beginning to realize even her calm voice can't silence the storm brewing inside her siblings. On Tuesday, Jack begins the day determined to keep Chabot stable, yet deep down, he knows that someone, somewhere, is ready to tear it all away the moment he shows weakness. Across town, Sharon is drawn back into Nick's orbit, no matter how hard she's tried to distance herself. Their connection remains magnetic, and Tuesday's encounter between them is laced with history. Nick, torn between wanting to move forward and still being stuck in the same old patterns, shows up at Crimson Lights with a look that tells Sharon he's carrying another burden. Sharon, ever the intuitive one, sees right through him before he even says a word. He tries to brush it off, but Sharon pushes him, gently at first, then with the firmness of someone who knows him better than anyone else. Their conversation takes a turn when Nick admits that he feels like he's losing everyone around him, his father's trust, his daughter's respect, and even Sharon's quiet support. Sharon listens, but her own walls are up, because every time she lets Nick in, history repeats itself. The question lingering in the air is whether this time will be any different, or if they're doomed to repeat the same painful cycle. At the Genoa City Athletic Club, Audra has her own troubles simmering beneath her polished exterior. She presents herself as confident, but when she meets with Kyle for what looks like a casual drink, the truth is, both of them are balancing secrets that could destroy them. Kyle still feels trapped between loyalty to his family and the temptation Audra represents. She has the ability to make him feel alive and reckless, but she also reminds him of every mistake he's ever made since Summer walked away. Audra leans in close, whispering something that makes Kyle's pulse race, but just as quickly, the fear sets in. If anyone finds out about their ongoing connection, the fallout would be brutal. On Tuesday, their private world collides with reality when someone unexpected spots them together, and whispers begin to form that could ripple through Genoa City faster than either of them can contain. Victor, on the other hand, wakes up already in battle mode. The man never stops strategizing, and while he presents himself as the family patriarch who has everything under control, the truth is, he knows his empire is vulnerable. The enemies outside are always circling, but it's the betrayals from within that cut the deepest. He's already questioning Adam's loyalty again, even though Adam has been desperately trying to prove himself. On Tuesday, Victor calls his son into the office, demanding answers about a decision Adam swears he never made. The tension between father and son escalates until Victor delivers a chilling warning. He won't hesitate to cut Adam off for good if he sees even one more sign of disloyalty. Adam, hurt but furious, fights back with words that strike at Victor's pride, telling him that maybe the empire he built is crumbling because Victor refuses to admit he's not invincible anymore. The silence that follows is thick with decades of unresolved pain, and Adam storms out, leaving Victor looking more shaken than he'll ever admit. Meanwhile, Chance finds himself pulled between duty and heart. As Genoa City's lawman, he's determined to keep order, but Tuesday brings him face to face with an investigation that hits far too close to home. Evidence surfaces that links someone he cares about to a crime that doesn't fit their character, and Chance feels torn about how to proceed. His professionalism tells him to follow the trail wherever it leads, but his heart tells him there's more to the story. When he confides in Summer, the two share a moment that feels like a spark, the kind of connection Chance has been missing since his heartbreak with Sharon. Summer, however, isn't sure she's ready to step into another complicated situation, especially with her family drama swirling around Kyle, Audra, and the Abbotts. Yet the pull is undeniable, and on Tuesday, viewers will see that their bond may be stronger than either of them is willing to admit just yet. Back at the Newman Ranch, the storm finally breaks. Claire can no longer keep her secret, and in a heartbreaking scene, she admits to Victoria that she has been holding back the truth about her son. Her voice trembles as she explains that she thought she could handle everything on her own, but the weight has become unbearable. Victoria, stunned but trying to remain calm, asks her daughter to explain everything, and what Claire reveals changes the dynamic of their relationship forever. The truth is messy, painful, and tied to scars that haven't fully healed. Claire breaks down in tears, confessing that she doesn't know if she's strong enough to move forward, and Victoria, for once, sets aside all control and simply holds her daughter, vowing that no matter what, they will face it together. This raw, emotional moment reminds viewers that beneath all the business rivalries and betrayals, the young and the restless thrives on the ties that bind family together through even the darkest times. And as the day draws toward its close, each character in Genoa City is left grappling with choices that could reshape their futures. For Jack, it's the decision of whether to keep fighting Ashley or try to mend their broken bond. For Sharon and Nick, it's the eternal question of whether they should risk opening their hearts again. For Kyle and Audra, it's the danger of keeping a secret that could ruin more than just their reputations. For Victor and Adam, it's the bitter war of father and son, love and power, legacy and pride. And for Claire and Victoria, it's the fragile but unbreakable bond of mother and daughter, tested in ways they never imagined. The fabric of Genoa City is woven from threads of anticipation, deception, and the relentless pursuit of legacy, a dynamic that finds its most potent expression in the ongoing narratives that captivate its residents and observers alike. On Tuesday, September 16, 2025, these threads are pulled taut, creating a tapestry of conflict, revelation, and emotional turmoil that promises to reshape the landscape of the city's most powerful families and their intricate relationships. The day is not merely a sequence of events but a convergence of long-simmering plots and sudden, explosive confrontations, each moment laden with the weight of history and the sharp sting of the present. At the heart of the day's maelstrom lies the ever-shifting battle for control of Chancellor Winters, a company that has become far more than a business. It is a symbol of heritage, a trophy for victors, and a battleground for old resentments and new ambitions. The recent maneuvers have left the air in the corporate offices thick with tension, a palpable force that every character navigates with a mixture of trepidation and resolve. Lily Winters, having fought tirelessly to protect her father's legacy from the encroaching shadow of the Abbott empire, finds herself in a precarious position. The spoilers suggest a critical board meeting or a pivotal shareholder vote is imminent, forcing her to make alliances that feel like compromises and to confront betrayals from within her own circle. Her leadership, once seen as a unifying force, is now being tested under the extreme pressure applied by Jack Abbott and his proxies. Jack's strategy appears to be one of relentless psychological warfare, aiming not just to win votes but to dismantle Lily's confidence and isolate her from her supporters. Every conversation in the hallways of Chancellor Winters is a potential ambush, every smile a possible mask for treachery. Devin Hamilton, caught between his familial loyalty to Lily and his own complicated business philosophies, which sometimes align more with the cutthroat Abbott approach than he cares to admit, becomes a crucial swing vote in both the literal and metaphorical sense. His internal conflict is a microcosm of the larger corporate war, a struggle between heart and head, between shared history and perceived future viability. Simultaneously, the personal cost of this corporate feud is being exacted in the homes and relationships of those involved. Billy Abbott, often the wild card in his brother's carefully laid plans, is embroiled in his own turmoil. His history with Lily is long and complex, a mixture of genuine affection, business rivalry, and shared personal failures. The spoilers hint at a charged encounter between them, one where the professional and the personal become hopelessly entangled. Billy, despite his Abbott name, has always marched to the beat of his own drum, and his conscience may prickle at the tactics being employed. He might seek Lily out, not as an adversary, but as a former friend and confidant, offering a warning or perhaps even a sliver of information, a move that would put him on a direct collision course with Jack. This fraternal tension is a cornerstone of the Abbott dynamic, and Jack's imperial phase in business often serves to highlight the fundamental differences between the brothers. Billy's actions on this day could signal a significant rift, one that threatens the fragile unity of the Abbott family just as they seem on the cusp of their greatest victory. Meanwhile, the Newman Enterprises storyline operates as a powerful counterpoint to the Chancellor Winters drama, exploring similar themes of power, legacy, and betrayal within a different familial context. Victoria Newman, having solidified her position as CEO, is now facing the inevitable fallout of her absolute authority. Her relationship with Claire Grace, once a heartwarming story of redemption and familial rediscovery, is entering a new phase of complexity. Claire, no longer the grateful outsider, has begun to find her voice and her ambition within the colossal Newman empire. The spoilers for this date suggest a significant clash between Victoria's seasoned, sometimes merciless, executive style and Claire's newer, perhaps more idealistic or differently ambitious, perspective on the company's direction. A major deal or a corporate initiative is likely the catalyst, with Victoria making a decision based solely on bottom-line calculus, a decision that Claire finds morally reprehensible or strategically short-sighted. This isn't merely a business disagreement, it is a fracture in their nascent mother-daughter bond. Victoria sees her actions as necessary for protecting the kingdom she rules, while Claire interprets them as a betrayal of the values she believed they shared. This conflict forces Nate Hastings, who has navigated his way back into a position of influence, to choose a side. His political acumen within the company is tested as he becomes a reluctant mediator in a battle that is as emotionally charged as it is professionally consequential. Outside the office towers, in the dimly lit corners of society and the elegantly appointed living rooms of the Genoa city elite, the emotional and romantic entanglements provide the human-scale drama that fuels the larger narratives. The relationship between Daniel Romalotti and Heather Stevens is poised on a knife's edge. Having built a fragile trust after years of history and separate hardships, they now face a threat from a seemingly forgotten past. The spoilers indicate an unexpected arrival or a revelation concerning Lucy Romalotti, Daniel's daughter. Lucy's mother, Daisy Carter, or someone connected to that turbulent period, may resurface, throwing Daniel's life into chaos and triggering Heather's deep-seated insecurities. Heather's past as a defense attorney means she is adept at building cases, and she may begin to piece together information that Daniel is withholding out of a desire to protect her or Lucy. This well-intentioned secrecy becomes the very thing that could destroy their relationship, as Heather feels the familiar sting of being an outsider in Daniel's primary familial bond. Their scenes on this day are likely filled with tense, hushed arguments and painful accusations, where every word left unsaid echoes louder than those spoken. Simultaneously, the saga of Adam Newman and Sally Spectra continues to be a masterclass in tragic romance. Two individuals perpetually drawn together by an undeniable, magnetic connection yet repelled by their own demons and the circumstances that surround them. By September 2025, their dynamic has undoubtedly evolved, but the core of passionate conflict remains. Spoilers suggest a moment of profound vulnerability for one of them, likely Adam, who has been working tirelessly to prove his reformation is genuine, not just to his family but to himself. He may suffer a significant professional setback, one that the Newmans, particularly Victor or Victoria, view as confirmation of his inherent unreliability. In this moment of defeat, he will turn to Sally, not for a solution, but for understanding. Sally, herself navigating her role at Newman Media and her complicated friendship with Nick, will be faced with a choice: offer the compassion she still undoubtedly feels for him, thus reopening a door both have tried to close, or maintain her distance to protect her own hard-won stability. Their interaction is unlikely to be a grand reunion, but rather a quiet, intense scene charged with years of history, regret, and lingering love. It is a moment that reminds everyone that beneath the corporate titans and the master manipulators, they are still just two wounded people who found a home in each other's chaos. Furthermore, the ever-present specter of Victor Newman looms over all these events. Even if not directly involved in every scene, his influence is the gravity that bends the light of every storyline. His philosophy of testing his children, of pitting them against one another to strengthen the strongest, has created the environment in which Victoria's ruthlessness and Adam's desperation flourish. On this day, it is probable that he is observed quietly, perhaps by Michael Baldwin or Nicky Newman, assessing the outcomes of the various battles he has either instigated or allowed to happen. His commentary, likely delivered in his signature cryptic growl, will provide the thematic underpinning for the entire episode: that power is not taken, it is claimed through sacrifice and resolve, and that family is both the ultimate weapon and the greatest vulnerability. In essence, the events of Tuesday, September 16, 2025, on The Young and the Restless are not a beginning nor an end, but a crucial inflection point in a dozen ongoing narratives. It is a day where corporate strategies reveal personal vendettas, where familial love is strained by conflicting ambitions, and where the ghosts of past choices return to dictate present actions. The characters are all pushed to their emotional and ethical limits, forced to make decisions that will define their paths for months to come. The genius of the storytelling lies in the interweaving of these plots: a decision in the boardroom of Chancellor Winters echoes in the Newman Ranch, a personal betrayal at society affects the power balance at Newman Enterprises. It is an intricate dance of cause and effect, proving that in Genoa City, there is no such thing as a private battle. Every conflict is a public spectacle, every secret is on the verge of exposure, and every heartache is a piece in the grand, relentless game of power, love, and legacy that continues to enthrall. The day promises not just answers to immediate questions, but the planting of new seeds for conflicts yet to bloom, ensuring that the restless energy of the city and its inhabitants will continue to simmer long after the day is done.